For me, creating presentations is like fine dining. What's presented before you in fine dining looks awfully simple. It looks like, man, I could have made this. But we all know when we eat fine dining food, the process behind it was intricate, it was complex. And so when we eat it, we realize just the complexity, the level of effort that went in to create it. And that's the same with presentations. We don't want to impress by presenting complexity. We actually want to impress by showing simplicity. We want to be effective. We want to be engaging. We don't want them to think, oh my gosh, there was so much time spent creating this. We don't want them to think that. We want them to think, wow, that was a really effective meeting. So, how do you do that? Here's my 3-step process on creating presentations. Number one, gather. Gather as much information, as much stuff as possible. There's just a gathering process. I like to just have everything and as much as possible in one place. And so I'm just starting to just brainstorm and just stack information, get as much and gather as much other information as possible. Second step, I'm starting to refine. I'm starting to categorize and starting to cut back. Categorize and cut back. And the way I categorize and cut back is not necessarily about what I want to say, it's about what the audience needs to hear and needs to know. Not what I want them to know, what they need to know. And that's really critical. And that helps me cut it all back. The way I cut it back is I think about just the most critical, just the imaginary, really critical person that doesn't want to be in the meeting. Just cross-armed and just sitting there and going, I don't even want to be here. I imagine that person, look at the presentation, and I want to make sure that this presentation works for them. And so at the end of this cutback process, I want to make sure that every single thing on the slide can answer this question, so what? So what? What does it mean to me? Why are you showing me this? I'm having these horrible questions in mind and I'm anticipating these questions and trying to make sure that everything I have presented can work with the most critical person in the room. And so I want all the information to direct or to be a call to action. Finally, get feedback. I'm actually a real believer in diversity of thought. I think it's just really helpful to get feedback. Now, feedback often is scary because people are going to have opinions that are different to yours. People are going to have pushback. But getting feedback is so helpful because it preempts and prepares you for the presentation. And actually it might save you from some tricky questions. It might save you from some downright errors. And so get feedback, whether it's your peers, your manager, someone external maybe that just doesn't even know the content. Just to test, does this work? I've put this together, does it even make sense to you? And so get the feedback. That's the process that I do. 1, 2, 3. And I hope it's helpful to you. If it has been, hit the like and thanks for watching.